welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about money again. Let me know how you guys like these videos, if you're enjoying them or not, about, budgeting and how much horses cost and all that type of stuff. So today we're going to talk about how much I pay for my horses. I see you guys in the comment section all the time talking about how you'll never be able to afford a horse, and I'm lucky I have 4 of them because you'll never be able to afford to have 4 horses, or you'll be lucky if you even get 1 horse. And honestly, you guys don't know that. To be completely honest, that's what I always say. You never know. When I was 12 or 13, did I ever think I was going to have 4 horses? No. When I was that age, I struggled just to even be able to pay for my 2 horses. I didn't know how I was going to do it, and I never thought I'd be in the position to be able to afford 4 horses. And horses are expensive as you are. That's what I always say. It all depends on what type of rider you are. If you are go for the big bucks, go to all the shows, haul everywhere, go to different states, and big show wig type of stuff, that's gonna be very expensive compared to hobby riders or riders like myself that do training and stuff like that. So like I've always said, it depends on what type of rider you are. And horses are more strategic than they are expensive, in my opinion. I mean, horses are expensive, there's no doubt about that, but it's all about strategy and where you're putting your money and figuring out ways to save money here and there. So let's get started and let's talk about how much I pay to own 4 horses at the age of 18. So I pay for my horses all myself. I've told you guys that in my videos before. If you're new here, my name's Michaela. I'm 18 years old. I've had 4 horses for the past, 2 years, and I had 3 horses before that, and I pay for them all myself. My parents don't help me. They used to a little bit when I was younger, but for the most part, my parents don't pay for any of my horses' stuff. So I have found out ways. I've always been a penny pincher, so I'm always looking for ways to save money here and there. So a few ways that I've found saving money is find a barn, get to know your barn owner, get a good relationship with your barn owner, and just ask if there's any possibility that they would let you either discount your board or have free board in exchange for doing chores for them, such as cleaning stalls, feeding horses, riding their horses, stacking hay, all kinds of stuff. A lot of times barn owners will be flexible with that. I've had 3 now, 3 different barns that have let me do that, just because it's easier for them. It makes less work for the barn owner to have to do the chores and all that stuff. A lot of times, a lot of people will let you do that. Or if you ask if you can provide your own grain or feed or something like that, or if you don't want your horse to be getting the grain that they provide their horses, that costs less for them. So ask about that and see if they'll let you do that and take a little bit off your board. A lot of barn owners and nice barn owners are flexible with that. And yeah, it never hurts to ask. The worst they can say is no. I have found several barn owners that have let me do that, like I said, and I currently do that right now with my 4 horses. So my horses are on full-time pasture board. So it costs the barn owner literally nothing. It literally doesn't cost her anything for my horses to just sit in her pasture and eat the grass. So she charges me $50 a month per horse. So with my 4 horses, that would be $200 a month. At our barn, the barn owner pays $25 per chore session. So before I had my horses there, she would pay me $25 every time I did chores. Well, now that I have 4 horses there, I asked her if I can do chores 4 days a week and get free board for 2 of my horses. It just takes $100 off of my board. So I only pay $100 for boarding 4 of my horses each month. So it's a pretty good deal if you ask me. You just have to find ways and ask questions. It never hurts to ask if your barn owner will let you do that or be flexible with you. Really, the worst she could have told me was no. Yeah. She would have been paying me anyways, and then I would have just been giving that money back to her with the board, so it wouldn't have made a lot of sense anyway, so she just took that off of my board. So for my horses' hoof trimmings, I get 2 of my horses trimmed every 6 weeks. I'm lucky, and I did my research and I met a lot of farriers and I watched them and I shadowed them. So I learned how to do just very basic hoof trimming. So my 2 trail horses, I trim their feet myself, so I don't have to pay for their hoof trimming. And the other 2, like BB is in training for barrels, so I want her to have, you know, the right angles and balance on her feet. And then my other project horse right now, she's not the greatest with her feet, so I get them trimmed every 6 weeks, and that costs $80. So every 6 weeks is $80, or I mean, not every 6 weeks, like just when I see that they need trimmed, which is around 6 to 8 weeks or so. So that'll be about $80. So that's not for everybody. The farrier we use at my barn is a little bit more expensive, but usually around $30 to $40 is how much it costs to trim your horse's hooves. So for deworming my horses, it costs $40 per worming. So twice a year it costs me $40 to worm 4 horses. So that costs me $80 a year. It's not really a huge expense. And then it costs me $300 a year to vaccinate 4 horses. Well, around $300, $350 or so to vaccinate all 4 of my horses. I get them the West Nile shot, the rabies shot, and the equine rhino vaccine. And I don't get Lyme disease every year, but like every other year I'll get the Lyme disease vaccine. So it costs me about $300 a year to get shots for all 4 of them. I only do shots once a year. I know some people do it twice a year. Personally, I don't do anything with my horses in the winter, really. I don't show them in the winter. I'm not taking them and exposing them to other horses. There's no insects here in the wintertime to spread Lyme and West Nile disease, so I mean, there's really not a lot of point in giving your horse shots in the wintertime. And honestly, the way I see it, any vet is going to tell you, oh, get them some more shots this winter, because that's how vets make money. But, yeah, I've never done shots twice a year. I always do them once. So it costs me about $300 a year. And then I buy my horses a bag of oats. So I get them a 40-pound bag of oats about every month, which costs me about $12 a month for the bag. Not super expensive, but it does add up, so that's about how much I pay for their grain. And then I get them the big 50-pound huge salt blocks, and I get them one about every 6 months. So that's about $14 a year is what I calculated. They're around $6 or $7 per salt block. So that's about how much of the necessity things. That's all I spend a year. So let's just take a second and add this up with my calculator here. Alright, so $100 a month is $1,200. Okay, so I put $80 every other month, so it would be 6 months. Wow, of course this one doesn't work. Literally, this is the 3rd pen. Are you serious? Where are my pens? So for the necessity things that I just listed, it costs me about $2,218 a year to pay for all of my horse stuff. So I didn't include, I'm not going to include in this video any like of my tack or anything that I need to buy, because those are only like one-time expenses. So, you know, those aren't the necessity things that I have to have my horses. But let's talk about all the extra stuff. So everything that I do with my horses costs me money, whether it be my trail riding, training, all that type of stuff. It all costs money. So these aren't necessity things that I do to own my horses, but this is just extra stuff that I pay for to do what I like to do with my horses. Every time I trailer my horses somewhere, I fill up my truck, because my truck kind of eats gas a little bit, but I mean, typically I trailer about an hour every time I go somewhere with my horses with trail riding. I don't really do a lot of shows, so it costs me about $50 every time I trailer my horses, which I usually do it once a month or so during the summertime. But if I trailer somewhere 4 to 5 times a year, it costs me about $50 per trailer session. Actually, probably more than that. I probably trailer like more like 10 times. Maybe I do it like twice a month. Alright, and when I do go to shows, which isn't very much, like if I go to like a couple shows a year, 2 or 3 maybe, it costs me about $20 to $25 per show to do the entries. I think our local saddle club does $5 per entry, like in each class. So I usually don't enter a lot of them, so it's about $20 to $25 to enter in all the classes. I pay for a saddle club membership every year, which is only $10 because I'm an individual, so I do the individual membership. It's only $10 to join. And I also have my gelding Soccer on a hoof supplement currently, which, I mean, his bucket, I go through about every couple of months because I don't give it to him every single day, so it costs me about $13 every other month to get him a new bucket. And then it costs me about $50 a month just to drive back and forth from the barn. Like, that's a big expense, is gas, getting to and from your barn. I'm impressed with the people that do board their horses like an hour away or pretty far away. I board my horses 20 minutes from here, and I mean, it costs me about $50 a month in gas going back and forth, which will definitely add up. So we're gonna say that I trailer more like 10 times a summer, because I've definitely gone more than 3 or 4 times this year already. So let's say I do 3 shows in the summer. Alright, so with all of the extra stuff, with my trailering back and forth, gas, show entries, all the extra things that I do for my horses cost me about $1,263 a year. But like I said, that can vary more or less. I don't, that's not exactly how much it costs, but for, the average, that's about maybe how much it'll cost for me to do things that I don't have to do, but I like to do. And so all together, with the necessities and the extra stuff I do with my horses, it costs me about $3,481 for the whole year. So any of you young kids out there might be like, oh my god, $3,000. You get yourself a part-time job, and if you're not old enough, I understand. But that's really not a lot of money for an entire year. I know people who spend that much like every month on their horses, and that's insane. Like I said, like $1,000 of that was just extra things that I do with my horses that I don't have to do. So if you just want to have a horse, just want one to ride at your barn or ride at home and just enjoy and take care of, like, obviously it's not going to cost all that much. And if you know how to save your money, if you know how to be strategic and whatnot, then, I mean, horses don't have to be super crazy expensive animals. It's just the thought of how capable you are of using your money wisely. So that's how much I pay for my horses. I know it's different for everyone. I know not everyone has the same capabilities based on your area, based on barn owners. It all depends. So, but yeah, that's just how much I pay for my horses. So don't think that just because you're in a tough spot right now, you don't have any money right now, means that you'll never be able to have multiple horses or a horse of your own. And I know in this video I made it sound like having 4 horses is like the greatest thing, but you don't have to have 4 horses. Think about if I only had 1 horse. Like, you could divide all of that by like 4. So my horse's necessities was $2,218. If I divide that by 4, that's $554.50 for a year. So, I mean, if you've got that and you work strategically, you put your money where it has to go, and you penny pinch and you don't spend when you don't have to, guys, that's like really, really cheap. And you just gotta figure out what you can and can't do. So don't ever think that, nothing's possible for you. Anything's possible. Anything might come your way. If you get a good opportunity, take it. And yeah, I mean, not everybody has to have 4 horses. Like, if you only had 1 horse, if I only had 1 horse, that would be crazy cheap. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you like these money talk videos, what else you want to see down in the description. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop down below if you want to order one of my equine mystery boxes. And stay tuned for 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to be giving away a few more of those. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.